Well, of course, it was a successful Pride game for the Saints, the first time we'd beaten Sydney since 2012, and obviously by extension, the first time we've been able to win the Pride game. Great that it was still celebrated, we know, at a time when St Kilda and, for that matter, Sydney are not able to play home games for the time being. Obviously, good to see a turnout for both clubs in Queensland, albeit in this limited setup and the unusual nature that 2020 is. But we are joined by Mikey Cole. You can follow him on Twitter at the Mikey Cole. That's all one word. And of course, the founders of Saints Pride and a St Kilda Tragic as well, and someone that can give us some insights into the significance of this occasion. Mikey, thanks for your time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Take us through that. I mean, Saints Pride and getting that off the ground and what it's grown to be over the journey of which you've obviously had such a major association.
So it started. The group started in 2015. So just before the first Pride game. And the good thing about the group is that the club reached out to the supporters to actually start the group. So we started off really kind of small, really grassrootsy. There was only a few of us involved. But as the years have passed and as the games have progressed, we've had a few people jump on board and get involved. So it's kind of I stepped away this year, so it's the first year that we've won, and it's the first year that I haven't been involved. So maybe I should have stepped down earlier.
Well, we'll have to keep that in mind if you ever get approached to have an official role with any of the other Coda groups. So, what does it mean? What does it mean to you, and I guess a bit more expansively to the community to have a round like the Pride round and a game like the Pride game? What does that mean?
Well, I always, I just think it's good to support a football club that actually embraces everybody. So I always say St Kilda's a family, and it's a family that welcomes everybody, and I think that can only be a positive thing. But with the Pride game, I actually think it should be a Pride round. And I spoke to Samantha Lane last year, maybe the year before, about that on the Channel 7 telecast, that there's so many supporters out there that follow AFL, and not just St Kilda, but there's a supporter group for most AFL teams, an LGBTIQ supporter group, but it's only the Saints and the Swans, I think, that get to celebrate and get to feel that kind of warmth that the Pride game is.
So what kind of numbers are you looking at? How much interest have you had in the group? How many, do you have many members? Do you have, I guess, you're saying there's a small core group. What has that grown to now since the starting?
Yep. So the group itself, probably the committee itself might have around, say, maybe 10 people, but we have events. And so I think the last event we had like about 80 people turn up to Moorabbin on a Monday or Tuesday night. So if we can get 80 people supporting us on a cold night in Moorabbin on a Tuesday, I think it shows that we do have that support. And we always have a function before the Pride Games. So this year, obviously, there was none. But whoever hosts it, so they host an event if it's the doubt, so you couldn't fit anybody else there. So it's just like amazing to see this little group that started with the first event I had. I think there was like 7 people that turned up. So it's me, Sam Gilbert, Jason Ball, and maybe 2 or 3 other people. And then to get like 100 people coming, or even more than 100 people just coming to show that support, and just to show that kind of, we are a family. It's just a feel good kind of thing to go, you are welcome, and it doesn't matter who you are.
I guess just that notion of confidence and even that sort of safe space as well, that people can feel comfortable at the football under all circumstances. How big an influence do you think it's had? Have you had people, I guess, reach out and even saying that this has given me, I guess, a lot more confidence and made me feel, I guess, safer or better about the football experience?
Well, last year I had I got a message from somebody who'd been a member of the Saints for 21 years, and he messaged me and said because of the group, he's been able to come out. So he came out to his friends and his family because there was a group and he knew there was a support network for him. So before the game, so Saints Pride before games, we would catch up with the opposing supporter group, and we'd catch up before the games. Every game we'd meet up and just have that kind of safe space for everybody. So it didn't matter who you were, whether you were in the community or an ally, you had a safe space and you felt welcome before the game. And then often we would meet up after the game as well, but it just depends on what the score was. But yeah, so I just think for me to get that message from somebody to say, because of your group, I'm able to come out. And there's even somebody on, so we've got a page on, Saints Pride have got a page on Facebook, and somebody reached out and said that they're able to admit that they're trans, and they're going to start that transition into that. So it's actually like a really good space for people to feel comfortable to be their true self.
I mean, it's a really good point. And I think it's really easy for us to kind of, you know, promote the game and you know, promote Pride Week or Pride Game and that sort of stuff. But just how much who live this life every day and kind of have to face these battles every day, whether it's family, friends, community, you know, just how important is this week?
Look, I think it's hugely homophobic remarks, whether it's the way you cheer or the way you clap or whatever. But I'm kind of lucky that I've got that confidence that I will argue back with somebody, but not everybody's got that. So if you heard that once, you probably wouldn't go back to the football. You wouldn't feel there's a space that you're able to feel comfortable and go. So you just would stop following or stop being involved.
So what's your background with St Kilda? How did you get onto St Kilda? How did it all start? Is it a family thing, or did you just fall into it, or where did you come from?
I think like most people, my dad barracks for St Kilda, so do I. I grew up in Bendigo, and it's all Carlton recruiting area back in the day, and all my extended family barracked for Carlton, and I think the best thing that ever did is not go for Carlton. But yeah, and we race horses, so our racing colours are red, white and black. So it's all St Kilda through and through. And yeah, like my best friend is married to a former footy player, so it's like without St Kilda, I don't know what life would be like.
Well, Mikey, we're certainly proud of the Saints for what they've been able to do leading the way in this, and something that I'm sure that the competition will continue to follow and continue to involve itself in as much as they can. And I agree with you, the notion of the round is definitely the right way to go rather than the game. But thank you for all of your work over the years. Great to finally win this contest as well and make it a memorable one. And hopefully we can stay in touch down the track.
No problem. Thanks for having me, and go Saints.